Hey folks, I've got the bins on, so you know I'm going to reach you. Sorry for the old glare off the light there. Can't do anything about it. It's late yet again. I've got 3 or 4 stories here that'll upset you, that'll shock you, but I'm going to give you me anyway. We'll start with English, then we'll go foreign, then we'll go on. I don't know at all who it is because the courts aren't telling us. Right, we'll go English first. This won't sound English to you, but the young lady looks English. Ikeina Dawes. Ikeina, you may have heard about it, you might not. 23-year-old lady. Killed herself recently. She's from Fleetwood. Went and lay on the train lines and had a 110-mile-an-hour train kill her instantly. Her boyfriend, or ex-boyfriend of 2.5 years, Ryan Wellings, he's 30, she was 23. He's up at the moment for manslaughter. She left a suicide note on her phone. She's got a young kiddie, a young 9-month-old daughter, by the way, and she said, I just couldn't take any more. This gentleman has murdered me over 2.5 years. He's beat me up, he's knocked me about regularly, he's coercive control, it's been all there, mental control, the whole shooting match. He's not let me live my life, he's accused me of doing this, that, and the other, and I've done none of it. That my life's been terrible for 2.5 years, I just can't cope anymore, I can't cope with it, I've got to end it all. But really, this person has murdered me. For all I'm killing myself, and please, to my daughter, I'm eternally sorry, I'm sorry to leave you on your own, but I just can't carry on with life. What an absolute awful, awful thing. Now, if this guy's getting done for manslaughter, I would suggest, without her testimony, her being there, maybe it's hard to prove, I don't know, I would imagine he's going to get off reasonably lightly. He's pushed this young lady into an early grave. I would imagine he's going to get off reasonably lightly. I don't know. He's being tried at this moment in time. That's story 1, and that's bad enough. Somebody sent me another story today, one of the channel regulars, about a gentleman. What's his name? Oh, good grief, bear with me a sec. I may say this incorrectly, folks, so please forgive me. KD's Mohammed. I can get the Mohammed bit, but KD's I'm not so sure. A Birmingham jury recently found him guilty of manslaughter. He was up for murder. He killed his young 3-week-old baby. 3-week-old. The baby died of head injuries and other associated ailments. He's done it. He claimed mental health issues and what have you, and because of that he's got manslaughter rather than murder, and I think he's in some kind of hospital. They say prior to that he was a good father, a good dad. I don't know if he's got the kids, he probably has, and was of good character. Now maybe he's got mental health problems, I do not know, but manslaughter seems like taking a young 3-week-old kiddie's life. Just how can the kiddie fight back or do anything? Now somebody that watches the channel sent me that. I was going to have a right go and say, wait a minute, we've got the old 2-tier again, undercare the old 2-tier, because this fella, is he probably Muslim? I'm guessing so. He's certainly not white. I've seen his picture. Would a white guy have got done for murder and he's got manslaughter? Because the person who sent me the thing said he was also heard to shout something, I don't know, some akbar or something like that, something for, I don't know what. He wouldn't be asking for an akbar. As I went there on Saturday night, Friday night, was it? Friday night, it was awful. I won't eat there again. He was shouting something to do with his religion. But unfortunately, I can't see that on the piece. The piece that this gentleman sent me, it doesn't show any of that on there. So I don't know what he's been shouting and the full upshot. But I can't go much deeper with this fella because mental health can be something evil and it can drive folk to do evil things, be them white or of colour. So I can't single this guy out. But again, I think you kill a 3-week-old baby, should you even be allowed to? I'd be on mental health. Maybe you should. I don't know. But again, it seems to me like somebody that's got off pretty lightly. I think we had one more as well. This next one, it's horrific, this next one. We've got one more. I can't even give you a name on this one. This young lady is, I said I didn't know which colour. Yes, this young lady is of colour. No, I've got 2 more to give you. I'll give you that's the worst one. I'll give you that one last. There's one reported tonight on my local news. A mother has been jailed for I think 7 years. She's kept a young child in a drawer for the first 3 years of its life. 3 full years. The child is in a terrible, terrible state health-wise. Cleft palate, never been treated, and other deformities. She's never seen any sunlight, never seen anything. This woman's had other kids and brought the other kids up in the house and brought them up normally and kept this kiddie away from everybody else. I think it says a partner or husband stayed in the house pretty regularly, but maybe not all the time, and he never knew about the other kiddie. Seemingly some friend of the woman's is in the house one afternoon and she hears a kiddie crying and everyone's supposed to be out. She questions it. She realises she's got someone hidden up in a bedroom. Social services get involved. The social service woman says, I walk into the bedroom, I find this kiddie on a bed. I think she's eating liquidized rusks or something like that. The kiddie was frightened to death, as in, you've never seen fright like it. Turns out, or it seems, that this social worker is only the second adult the baby's ever seen. The baby's only seen the social worker and the mother doesn't class it as her baby. And to make matters worse, if you're not bad enough, the drawer that she kept to him, and it did have a blanket in there, is one of those pull-out drawers under the bed. So she's been sleeping above the baby for 3 years, and it's weird. The social service people say it's the worst case of neglect they've seen in 41 years. Now, I thought the young one had died. It's not. The young one's in social care. But I believe it's got deformities and so on and so forth because it's never seen any daylight and because it's just been in a cramped place for the first 3 years of its life. What an absolute shame. The baby looks, they say, more like a 7-month-old child than 3-year-old. Shocking. Unfortunately, with that one, I can't give you the name of the woman in question. I can't tell you what colour the person is. I can't tell you what faith she's of because the court isn't letting it out because it's too disturbing, which to me seems a bit weird. And the last case, this is probably the worst of the lot. I mean, they're all bad, but I mean, this I don't know, this for me sort of took the biscuit, especially with the person's attitude. There's a Muslim schoolgirl. It hasn't given a name, that's it, I couldn't give you a name on this. Muslim schoolgirl, you may have read that, you may not have done. It should be in all the press, all over everywhere, but I've only seen it in one place today. You may remember it about 4 years ago, year 2020, there was a French teacher got beheaded because I think he was doing, was this some cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad or something like that? Well, this young girl, there's a young girl that was in his class that was 13 at the time, okay? She's 13 and she's been suspended for school for 2 days. She thinks she's going to be in absolutely terrible trouble with the parents. They must be extremely strict, you know, and she's from a religious background and they couldn't take the fact that she's been suspended. So she put lies out about the teacher, saying that he was a hater of their faith and so on and so forth. The teacher was called, what was his name? Samuel Patty. He was called Samuel Patty. And her father, this girl's father of 13, started to put everything on social media about this teacher, that it was an Islamist, is it Islamist hater or whatever else it may have been. As Islamophobic, of course, it's there's that many names and whatever. This teacher's Islamophobic, which by all accounts he probably wasn't. To that end, a young lad of 18, an Islamist radical from Chechnya called Abdullah Anzorev, took up the cause and decided to behead this teacher. That is what happened. This young girl now says she made it all up. The thing about him being an Islamophobic wasn't true. But because she'd got banned from school for 2 days, she thought her parents had been in an absolute mess with. She'd been in massive trouble. She made a story up to deflect their anger from her to somebody else. Her father took up the cudgel, as I say, went online, spread all this to various folk in and around Europe and the world for that matter. This teacher was hated amongst thousands, and somebody was seen as a martyr for going and beheading him, which is exactly what happened. She now says, and this is the bit I can't done, she's very sorry, and she's very sorry to the family. I know my sorrow won't help, but I really am sorry. It's the worst thing I've ever done. You're not kidding. And we wouldn't all be in this position if it wasn't for me. Again, you're not kidding. As it turns out, because she was 13 at the time, we can't name her, and she's basically gotten away in a roundabout way with murder there, because really she's got blood on her hands. And the problem was she was worried about what her parents were going to do to her. I think because she comes from such a faith, they wouldn't be able to stomach her being sent home for 2 days from school. And that's it, folks. So really, not a lot of good news there, is there? As I say, and I keep saying this, what a horrible world we're living in. It really, really is. And it's not getting any better anytime soon, sadly.